Right, how are we doing everybody? Welcome to Russell Heritage Golf. Anna again is here. She has decided to learn how to play golf whilst we are in lockdown. We've got 3 weeks left, so things are going to have to take a little bit of a evolvement to becoming more detailed. So what's going to have to happen is that you're going to have to learn how to hit the ball further. When you start trying to hit the ball further, that's going to show, shall we say, frailties within what you're currently doing. So the swing is coming up onto the screen now, that we can see that what's going on. And it's not bad. Like a lot of people have been commenting, good level of athleticism, it looks very natural, but we can kind of see this tendency to bend the arm coming in towards the hit, and those that watch the channel will know that's because there's a lack of rotational movement in your golf swing. So as an analogy, imagine throwing a frisbee. You would move the lower body out of the way first, creating space for your arm to move through. If you don't move your lower body and you try and pull your arm, it'll inevitably get bent. So that's what we're trying to do, right? Let's swap places for a second. And loads of people are going to be associating to this video, and this video that we're doing is also going to be a massive insight to have the process to the online as well. So if I kind of demonstrate a backswing position, and then a transitional position, and then say an impact position, it can all look very, very simple and very, very easy.
It does.
Right, and I think that's what tends to happen with people, and then I'll suggest that they do a drill, and then they tend to lose faith because it's not as easy as doing it as that, right? So what we're going to do is, the idea about today is that we're trying to learn how to rotate in posture, which basically means when we go into our golf posture, we have to learn how to rotate to create speed, but we have to learn how to stay in that posture and a bit of sequence as well. And
how far off am I?
Well, we'll find out. We'll find out today. Your kind of tendencies at the moment are you kind of go to posture more horizontally rather than downward, and then the backswing's generally not too bad, but there's a lack of sequence in the downswing. So you don't necessarily lead with the lower body, you tend to do things like pull your arms down. So very much natural beginner sort of traits, which we're trying to rectify. So today's drills, like I said, are going to be clubless, and it's going to be very much about feelings that you'd want. Okay. So first exercise, stand up nice and straight. Neutralize any curvature that you might have by just getting the belt buckle and make a conscious effort to get it closer towards your chin in the setup position. This would just neutralize the spine off, and then from there, belt buckle pointing down towards the ground. When you do it, hips go back. Yeah. So not kind of, just down.
Like,
So the thing is that what has to happen, and you're going to get this today, is that one of the things that I keep doing on the channel is trying to focus on key areas, because you do have to be conscious of these key areas. So the key area out of today is going to be pretty much the kind of pelvis, the hip area, and the lower part of the stomach. So imagine this area is kind of boxed off. Okay. So all of that, it needs to go downward. Much better, right? Yeah. What we're now trying to do is, with the hands placed across the stomach, is that we're in essence trying to make sure that the hands point down towards the ankle in the backswing position. But as we're doing this, we're trying to make sure that we keep that leg bent. Good, that's excellent. And again.
I felt that.
So common problems whilst Anna keeps doing this is that we tend to see golfers that do things like slide, or we tend to see golfers that do things like come out of posture. And then you might watch a video about staying in posture. You keep getting your repetition in, but then they might watch a video about staying in posture with some sort of little tip, and then it generally doesn't work. And the reason is that what you have to do is you have to teach your brain a new way to move, and that's going to take repetition. But what Anna should be feeling, and you guys at home as well if you're joining us, is that you should feel, because of the posture going downward, a sense of pressure in the ground, but being pretty relaxed. You're trying to keep this leg flexed and braced, but as the pelvis really turns into the leg will go outward slightly, and you should feel a huge activation of the top of the hip area.
When I watched you do that then, having you by my side,
this way
helped me,
so it's more that way. So I'm really turning my pelvis into my leg.
Does this knee open up a little bit?
Yeah, 100%. So it will, because of the rotation, but not as a thought. So do it again. So now slowly turn back. Yeah, so this is the devil in the detail, which I don't want to go too much into too soon. Okay. But the point as well as this is that, and I've said this before, like on the channel I don't really do beginner lessons like a lot do, because you're gonna have to learn this stuff at some stage if you want to get good anyway. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you might as well get on with some of the trickier bits, which is what we're doing.
Okay.
Happy with that?
No, I am. I
So-
like this. I like it.
What would then happen is that, and we'll come back to this, but we're keeping in the topic of hips today, yeah? Is that you should feel a capacity in terms of you can't really turn anymore once you activate that sort of top of the hip area.
Yeah.
And then we're good to start the downswing, right? Now, the key drill for this, swing back. You ready?
Hold on.
Take your time. So swing back. Very good. Now place your right hand on your right leg, and then what I want you to do is get your left hand now pointing back towards your lead ankle. Yeah, good. And again. So you're trying to limit, if I just show you from this angle, you're trying to limit any sort of motion. See that leg barely
okay,
moves.
So that's why you were talking to
Yeah.
that. Okay. Yeah. So in posture, over, face the lead,
Very good. Now place your hand on the leg. Now slowly go down. Very good. Now once you start
felt good as well.
So once you start to do this, obviously what we're teaching Anna is, as opposed to the swing that looks more this way, we're now going much more downward. But what we're also doing is obviously starting to get this feeling of moving the lower body in the correct sort of sequence. So that feeling, if you want to do it again,
And actually, am I right to correct my posture?
100%, without it you'll fail.
God, I'm just like, I come into it before and I was just like,
I know, if people are too tilted excessively this way, then basically you'll struggle to turn the pelvis into the leg. You'll end up chasing the leg around.
And could that also have been why, when I first you just allowed me to do it and get the feel for it? Is that why sometimes I felt like I was stretching?
I just think that, yeah, exactly. And like
Rather than like, I think.
Yeah, you need to have a feeling of like throwing a ball. You need to know the sequence as to when you're going to change, and generally what will happen with people that are athletic is that they won't kind of throw this way. They'll load and shift. So actually the pivoting action around the trail leg, even for throwing a ball, is paramount.
That makes absolute
So
sense.
it is techie and it is complicated. That's why you have to do these drills.
Yeah.
And the reason why I'm transparent with people online, it's not like I'm trying to sell online lessons. What I'm saying is that this is what I get people to do that do online. You know, forget trying to show me a club and stuff. You know, get at home and do these drills. 100%, because without it, you've got no chance. Now, if you do it again, so...
Am I okay to keep doing
yes,
that?
please. And then...
Thank you, teacher.
So then go turning back and then slowly move, the other way. But that's your first feeling to the downswing. So we won't try and coordinate all this today because it's not fair, but you'll do this sort of motion within sequence and elevate your arms in the air.
Yeah.
But your first move is that.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Yeah. I'm just going to do it again. So over. It's definitely.
Yeah.
And then.
Yeah, more downward.
Okay.
So what we mean by more downward is, if you watch my hands, we're going down, then there, then down, not horizontal.
Okay, yeah.
So that would be known as like an early hip extension. If somebody's going this way and then more horizontally, it means they're going that way towards the ball. And then down. Yeah. You're getting it?
I'm getting it. No,
Good.
definitely. Just,
So I think the advancement for this, that we'll touch upon a little bit now, is hands together. This might not go right in transparency for us. And if that doesn't go right, then we'll say, we'll go back to this.
Okay.
But again, what would normally happen is I'd ask somebody to do this drill for maybe a day. So that might be half an hour to 45 minutes of practice. And then we'd devolve it to something like this.
Okay.
So hands together. Put your right hand underneath your left hand. Perfect. Swing slowly back, so as if you're emulating your golf swing, but try and concentrate more on the lower body. Yes. Use your right hand now to push your left arm up in the air. Very good. Keep that pressure. Now move your lower body similar to what we demonstrated earlier.
Back that way.
Yes. No, horizontal. Good though. So that's interesting though. So you managed to get into a really good position.
Yeah.
Then you went that way.
Yeah.
Not down.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, there.
Hands one more time. You're getting it.
Yes.
You enjoying this?
No, I am enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. I'm starting to get into it.
It's a discipline.
And I can see why people get frustrated when they first, because
I mean, it'd be interesting. I mean, I think that as well, without sounding, I think if you're not willing to do this, I don't know whether you should.
Do it.
I don't think whether somebody should try and make a swing change. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
So what you can do is, if you'd have just carried on playing golf, you'd have got a bit better, but eventually you'll reach a capacity because you won't be technically sound enough to evolve past that point. I don't think if you're not willing to do this sort of discipline of drills and stuff, I don't think you should be making a significant change to your swing, because I think what will happen is that your expectation will get much greater than the reality of the practice. So this stuff's tedious, but you see this with every discipline.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Oh, no, you have to
From
put the work
boxing
in.
to any other sport, you'll have to do shadowing movements first before yielding that thing
of
around.
course. No, I
Try it again, one last time.
Okay. What, do you want me to do it with the hand? Or can
Yeah, so you do it on your own. So hands together. Very good. Posture.
Okay.
Excellent. Right hand under left. Excellent. Swing back. Think about the pelvis into the leg. Yes. Can you turn a little bit more? Yes. And then now slowly keeping the pressure on your right hand, go downward. But lower body led. A little bit up. Getting better though.
Okay, right. I'm going to
So,
practice
yeah.
that.
So you, just to put it into context whilst the people that are watching, you can see the way my lower body moves separately.
Yeah. No,
So it's not all together.
I'm going to practice that.
But we're going to do it. And again, we'll come back to this and we'll kind of talk about the sort of practice that Anna's obviously been doing and the effect that it will make in, say, I don't know, anything between 3 to 5 days' time. You'll be back swinging that again, and then we'll see the changes.
That'll be really, because I already feel it.
This is the thing. If you're keen on getting into golf,
Yeah, okay.
like we did, if you have a little go, you might go down the driving range, you might take a few pointers, but eventually if you're quite keen on getting into it, I'd probably look at investing it quite well, that time. Do you know what I mean? Because then you'll carry on enjoying it and you won't plateau too quickly.
Is this something why everyone's at home? This is something that they should definitely be doing.
This is it. This is why the transparency on the sites, like this is what I do with the online. This is what we're doing. Like
yeah.
online lessons, I don't break them down and go, oh, try this, try that. It's like, you need to feel this, you need to feel that. These are things that you have to do to be athletic. You're not going to do it with a golf club, so don't be unrealistic. Just start doing some drills first and
I
foremost.
definitely like the way, at the beginning, you've just let me do
Yeah.
what I've got to do.
Yeah,
But now
yeah.
I'm having to think about the
Because
change.
you've got to take it to that next sort of stage.
Yeah, no,
Good.
I will. Watch your space.
100%, so we'll come back to it. I think it's a really important lesson. Hopefully you guys can associate massively to it as well, and can also lend yourself the idea this is how you should be practicing, in my opinion. Always appreciate a thumbs up and a like. Remember, it's absolutely free to press that subscribe button. If you're going to do so, press the little bell icon, so that means you'll receive notifications every time a new video comes out. Plenty of practice for you, and we'll catch up with you guys again soon.